Hey guys, what up, what up? It is Sean Reese here at HeavyTek, and this video today is a little different from all the other videos that I usually do. This one happens to be a charity build. So to get you caught up on the story, my son is almost 15 years old. He's a big PC gamer now. He got into it slightly after I got into it, so he likes playing all sorts of games on his PC. So he has this friend called Chris that comes over, and they're best buds. They hang out when they can, and he's really enamored of how my son's computer is. It's a decent rig that I've thrown together for him, and every time I upgrade, I kind of upgrade some of the parts in his computer. So it's reasonably flashy. It's not over the top, but it's something nice. So Chris, his friend, is like, he wants to get into PC gaming, and he wants to be able to play games with my son Oren. Yes, that Oren, named after Final Fantasy X. Yeah, it was Final Fantasy X. He wants to play with him and be able to play games online together. What kids their age do nowadays. So he's like, hey dad, is there, he wants to start, getting a computer. And I was like, well, okay. And this kid's situation, it's not like he has a bad situation, but he probably doesn't have the opportunities to be able to just to go out and buy a computer. So I said, let's do this. He pays for one part and I'll take care of the rest. So like a week or so from when we initiated this, it was like the end of last year, like I think fall or something is when we started this whole thing. A week or so after we had talked about this, my son comes home and gives me like 20 bucks. And I'm like, well, what's this? And he's like, oh, it's from Chris. I'm like, why is Chris giving me money? He's like, well, since you know what kind of parts to buy, he's starting to pay for a part for his computer. And I'm like, whoa, this kid's actually serious. He actually wants to do this. So, I kind of like get my butt out of gear and start holding up my end of the bargain by, starting to search out and see what kind of build I'm going to do for him. So ever since then, when he can, he drops off a little bit of money, and sometimes it's a month or two. He's just doing what he can at his age, trying to earn a couple of dollars here and there to pay for this computer. So it gets to a point around Christmas, and I'm like, look, he's only like 50, 60 bucks in. And I'm like, you know what, that's good enough. Man, I don't want him to wait too long, clear into like maybe the end of next year before he saves up enough money to buy a part for his computer. So I said, don't worry about it, I'll take care of the rest. And then that's when I really started solidifying the build for him. We're gonna go over the list of parts I have over here in detail, and we're going to do just the part one of the video today, which is just going over what kind of parts we're going to put in the computer for him. This is one of the things he saved up his money to get. This is a SanDisk. We're going to use this as his boot drive. It's 120 gig SSD. And then coupled with that, we have another 25. We have another 2.5 inch drive that we're going to use. It's 1 terabyte, so he should have ample space to put in whatever games he wants to put in, whether he's using Steam or Epic Game Launcher or whatever. I know he wants to play Fortnite, so he'll be able to do that very well with this. On to the next thing, we have a pretty cool cooler. We have a AMD Wraith cooler. So this is like the first gen one. It has like a little LED somewhere in one of these corners when you plug it in. So it's not a whole lot of flash, or I think it's like on the side right here, like one of these sides. It's not a whole lot of flash, but I think it's pretty cool that he'll have something that's illuminated in this case. There's not a whole lot of RGB. I don't think there's any that's going on. It's pretty basic, but there's room to grow. There's room to grow. Onto the GPU, we're going to be using the Asus Radeon HD 7870 with 2 gigabytes of VRAM. I think it'll be okay for him to play, whatever game he wants, albeit it's not going to be on any like super high settings. He might get away with medium to low settings, or maybe just maybe high settings on some games if they're not too graphically demanding. But we do have an AMD Athlon. This is the new Athlon processor. the bottom tier one, the one that was first released, the 200 GE. So this is the 2-core, 4-thread processor. So it's got a little bit of hyper-threading. It is locked, so he's not going to be able to overclock it, which I don't think he even remotely knows how to do that. Maybe he'll get into it, but with it being an AM4 platform, he should be, able to, swap out a processor or whatever he wants someday if he feels like this is something he really wants to get into. And then onto the RAM, we're going to be using 266 megahertz DDR4 G-Skill Ripjaws. This is really good RAM. I've actually overclocked these to about like almost 3,000 on my test bench. So they definitely have capabilities to, exceed the rating of 2,666. Onto the power supply, we'll be using a Corsair CX450 power supply. It's been on the shelf, a little dusty. I haven't used this in a while. It's essentially brand new. I used it for a test bench I built long ago, and then I replaced it for something else. But it is not modular, so it's like the old school, all the cables run in, but it's really, really good power supply. I think it'll be more than enough to suit his needs of whatever he wants to do. And like anything with the PC, you get to upgrade and change parts as you see fit. Onto the motherboard, we're going to be using an AB350M from Gigabyte. This is a Gigabyte motherboard, and well, the reason I really like this motherboard, one, it wasn't too expensive, and two, it's already Ryzen 2000 ready, so I don't have to put in another processor and update the BIOS. It'll automatically accept any of the 2000 series chips, whether it's like the Athlon or any of the Ryzen 2300 G, yeah, 200G, and then the 2400G, or 2600X, or if he wants to put that 2700X in this thing, he could. I mean, I think it might be a little unutilized on this board, but you can do something like that. Onto the case, we're going to be using a Cooler Master. You see right here, Cooler Master. This is the Master Box Q300L. I actually did a review on this case, so I can put the links to the description if anybody wants to see the specs and what this case can do and what it can't do. But I think it's perfect because that's a micro ATX motherboard, and this is a micro ATX case. And you can put a ITX motherboard in this case also if you wanted to. All right, guys, so that's all it for the video today. It was just a short run through on the parts and the plan that we're going to do for my son's friend Chris. We're going to go ahead and put his computer together in another video, not today in this video, but we're going to do another video where we're going to catalog like a build vlog, and we're going to bench test the system to see how well it performs. Like I said before, he only wants to play like a couple of well-known games right now, like Fortnite, maybe Apex Legends, or a couple of other AAA titles. So he probably won't be able to be playing at, any ultra high settings. But like I said, this is just to get his foot in the door. We gave him a pretty good platform for upgrading. AMD is perfect for that, especially the range of processors that they have right now. So he has plenty of opportunity to change out his parts and further suit his needs if he so wishes. So if you guys liked the video today, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to know what next videos are coming up, don't forget to hit that little icon that has a little bell notification. And like always, guys, be awesome, be heavy. We'll see you on the next one.